Today I want to show you step by step how I took what most people throw away and turned it into a powerful vermicompost worm bin in about the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee. If you've ever felt guilty tossing food scraps in the trash, or you've wanted richer, healthier soil for your garden without buying expensive fertilizers, this is the perfect beginner project. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how simple it is to set up your first worm bin in just 20 minutes. Let's start with what I mean by trash. I'm talking about the kind of organic waste that usually ends up in your garbage. Vegetable peels, fruit cores, coffee grounds, shredded cardboard, and junk mail. Instead of sending all of that to a landfill where it produces methane, we're going to feed it to some of the hardest working little gardeners on the planet. Composting worms. With the right setup, those worms will turn your trash into dark, crumbly vermicompost and nutrient-rich worm tea that your plants will absolutely love. Before I hit the timer on our 20-minute build, I want to quickly explain why vermicompost is so special. When worms eat organic matter, they don't just break it down, they transform it. Their castings are packed with beneficial microbes, slow-release nutrients, and natural plant growth stimulants. Gardeners call it black gold for a reason. Vermicompost helps your soil hold moisture, improves structure, and boosts plant health in a way that synthetic fertilizers simply can't match. And the best part is, once your bin is running, it quietly works for you in the background, day and night. Alright, let's start the clock. The first thing you need is a container for your worms. I'm using a simple plastic tote with a lid, but you can use almost any sturdy container that's opaque and at least about a foot deep. Worms don't like light, so a solid colored bin is best. I mark out holes around the upper sides of the bin and in the lid, then grab my drill and add ventilation. These air holes are crucial because worms are living creatures. They need oxygen just like we do. You don't need to overthink it. Just a series of small holes a few inches apart around the top edge is enough to keep the air flowing without drying the bin out. Next, we'll create the bedding, which is like the worm's mattress and starter food all in one. I take some shredded cardboard and newspaper, nothing glossy or heavily colored, and soak it in a bucket of water. After a minute, I grab handfuls, squeeze them out so they're about as damp as a wrung-out sponge, and fluff them into the bin. I want a nice, airy layer at least 6 inches deep. To that, I add a little handful of garden soil or finished compost. This introduces beneficial microbes that help kickstart the breakdown process and gives the worms a bit of grit to help them digest their food. Already, in just a few minutes, our empty plastic box is starting to look like a cozy worm home instead of a piece of trash. Now we get to the stars of the show, the worms. For vermicomposting, I'm using red wigglers, also known as Eisenia fetida. These aren't your typical garden worms, they're surface feeders that thrive in decomposing organic material. I gently place them right on top of the bedding, and almost immediately they start disappearing down into the moist cardboard and paper. If you're new to this, it's a really satisfying moment. You're literally watching the system come to life. For a small beginner bin, a half to 1 pound of worms is plenty. They'll multiply over time as long as you give them the right conditions. With the worms settling in, it's time to introduce the trash they're going to transform. I grab a small container of chopped vegetable and fruit scraps, some coffee grounds, and a bit of crushed eggshell. Because this is a brand new bin, I don't overload it. I tuck a small handful of scraps into one corner of the bin and bury it under the bedding. This does 2 things. It keeps smells down and helps prevent fruit flies, and it gives the worms a clear, localized food source to find. Over the weeks, I'll move the feeding spot around the bin so the worms travel through and work all the bedding. At this point, we're well within our 20-minute window, and the basic setup is already done. I gently level the bedding, make sure everything looks evenly moist, and then place the lid on the bin. If you're worried about smell, mess, or pests, here's the good news. A properly balanced vermicompost bin smells like fresh forest soil, not garbage. You can keep it in a garage, a basement, a shaded porch, or even inside a closet if you're in an apartment. The key is to avoid extreme temperatures. Your worms are happiest between about 55 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Once your bin is running, the maintenance is incredibly simple. A couple of times a week, I lift the lid, check the moisture level, and add a small amount of food scraps. If it looks too wet, I mix in a bit more dry shredded cardboard. If it's drying out, I mist lightly with water. Over the next few weeks, you'll notice the bedding changing. It will become darker, finer, and more crumbly as the worms do their work. Eventually, you'll harvest finished vermicompost from one side of the bin while starting fresh bedding and food on the other, letting the worms migrate back and forth. Standing here with this finished bin in front of me, I'm still amazed that it all came together in about 20 minutes. What started as trash is now the heart of a living system that will quietly convert my waste into some of the best fertilizer I can give my garden. Every banana peel, every coffee filter, every bit of shredded junk mail now has a job. Instead of filling up the garbage can, it feeds the worms, and the worms feed my soil. It's a small change at home that has a big impact on your garden and on what you send to the landfill. Once your bin has been running for a while and you've got that rich, dark vermicompost, the fun really begins. I like to sift out the largest bits and then use the finished castings in a few simple ways. You can sprinkle a thin layer right on top of your garden beds as a gentle, slow-release fertilizer, or mix a couple of handfuls into the planting hole when you set out new seedlings. For container plants, I scratch a little into the top couple of inches of soil a few times a year. You can also make a simple vermicompost tea by soaking a small bag of castings in a bucket of water for a day, then watering your plants with that liquid. No matter how you use it, you're giving your soil a living boost that supports stronger roots, better growth, and more resilient plants. Before we wrap up, let me save you from some of the most common mistakes I see beginners make with worm bins. The biggest one is overfeeding. People get excited and dump in a huge bowl of scraps, which turns the bin sour, smelly, and slimy. Start with small amounts and only add more when most of the last feeding has disappeared. Another big issue is poor moisture balance. If the bin is too wet, it turns anaerobic and stinky, too dry, and the worms slow down or try to escape. Aim for bedding that feels like a wrung-out sponge, and fix problems with either a mist of water or a handful of dry cardboard. New vermicomposters also sometimes use the wrong materials, like lots of citrus, onions, garlic, meat, or greasy foods. Those can stress the system, so skip them at first. And finally, remember that not all worms are the same. Red wigglers are the best for vermicomposting, while typical garden earthworms prefer deep soil and won't thrive in a shallow bin. If you avoid these simple mistakes, your first worm bin will be low maintenance, odor-free, and incredibly productive. Remember, your kitchen scraps aren't waste. They're the raw materials for creating black gold. In just a few weeks, your worms will turn peels and leftovers into rich vermicompost that feeds your soil, plus liquid worm tea that acts as a powerful natural fertilizer. This simple 20-minute setup will quietly work in the background for months, converting your family's food scraps into something incredibly valuable. You're not just composting, you're creating a sustainable loop that helps your garden, your wallet, and the planet. If this walkthrough helped you see how easy vermicomposting can be, I'd love for you to join this little community of eco-minded gardeners. Hit that like button if you found this useful, subscribe to the channel for more organic gardening and composting tips, and let me know in the comments if you're starting your first worm bin or if you've been vermicomposting for a while. Share your questions, your successes, and even your mistakes, because that's how we all grow greener and live cleaner together.